Ladies and gentlemen, Future is 39 years old. He could be 40. I'm not entirely sure. I checked his age yesterday and it was one of the two. I really can't remember. And the reason why I start by bringing up his age is because this is a man who, for the better part of the last 10 to 15 years, has crafted a persona based off of being a misogynistic, drug-abusing trap star. We started out with Future in like 2012 with Racks on Racks on Racks. I'm just talking mainstream. I know he was in Atlanta doing his thing as Meathead and everything even before that. But this is a man who, for the past 10 to 15 years, has just used this persona that he has admitted even in court to judges that is literally just an act. He doesn't do drugs the way he says he does. The only real thing about Future is that he is truly just seems to be a huge misogynist. This is a man who's been able to skirt by doing the same tired trope, doing the same tired act, being the king of toxicity because he just is actually that musically talented. I see someone like Kanye West, who even to this day still has these sycophants for fans who worship his every move, who excuse every misstep, who excuse every abhorrent behavior. And I really sometimes wonder if people don't ever make the connection that Future is sort of the same beast, just in a different set coat of paint. And I say that because I also have to bring into just everyone's attention. I don't know if I ever say it enough. Future is, without a doubt, like probably the only nigga in the mainstream right now who is just versatilely talented at what they do when it comes to music is Kendrick Lamar. People forget, or sometimes I really feel like they just don't know, Future is under the lineage of the Dungeon family. I'm talking Outkast, I'm talking Goody Mob. There's a reason why on this album, The Real Me, you see on the song No Misery, Future opens it up with Andre 3000, the legendary 3-Stacks, one of the greatest of all time, talking about just the artistry and just the way that Future is able to use his pain and translate that into music that he's able to make comedic songs with, dramatic songs with, groovy songs with, all across the spectrum. And I say that because Future is somebody who is just so musically talented, who has so much just of a gift in this shit, that it becomes painfully obvious on albums like this, The Real Me, his latest output, that him phoning it in is almost a disservice to not only his fans, but to himself. If you can't tell already, I listened to the album. I was not the biggest fan. And although I am not going to use this review to sort of condemn Future, because again, if you can't tell already, I truly do believe that this nigga is like highly talented and is one of the best niggas in the game. But I've got to be honest with myself. And when it comes down to his whole gig, that he's not trying his hardest on this one. And so the Future, this album, The Real Me, it's 58 minutes. It's 22 songs, and all across this entire album, you have a mixture of different vibes, of different styles he's using. You get singing Future on this, you get rapping Future. It's like a mashup of that Future and Hendrix album. My friend compared it to Mixtape Pluto 2.0, and to be honest with you, I sort of get that same vibe as well. And that's not a bad thing per se. It's not like the beats are bad or anything. It's not like I don't like the styles. It's that I don't like the execution on this album. This is an album where it feels like Future is just taking full advantage of knowing that he needs to like not have the songs be too long, so he doesn't need to really flesh out any idea or thought. He's just going in and he's just dropping bars and dropping rhymes and everything. And it's just okay. You know, this is the first time that I've really had a Future album where even the songs that I saved that I liked, I have no real desire, no real indication that I want to go back and check them out again. You know, The only song on this album that I have saved that I still play is the most controversial song on the album, the one that people had either love or they hate, and I'm talking about 2018. The song where he just, in a effort to remind motherfuckers of that vibe that he had going on The King's Dead with Kendrick Lamar, he starts talking to and he raps like that the whole fucking song. But the crazy thing about it is him doing that fucking goofy ass voice, that whole silly ass like cadence and everything. That's the whole song, and it is also the longest song on the album at 4 minutes and 30 seconds or 15. I can't really remember. That's the song that he decided to flesh out. That's the one that he decided to give the most attention to in terms of like making it the longest. And you know what? That's the song that now this is literally just looking at my brain now. That shows you where his head was at on this album. This album wasn't made to give his fans the best quality, the best sides of himself, the best vibes or anything. This was made to get engagement, to get streams, to get clicks. That is why the goofiest and most memeable song on the album is also the longest. That is why you have him doing the antics. That is why you have all of this shit. This is a lazy album. I like Future. I have a lot of respect for him as an artist. Like I said, this is Dungeon Family lineage. He can definitely do better than this. And that's what makes this so frustrating as the more I've thought about it, because I've been struggling on what I wanted to give this album for a week and a half. This is an album where if I'm going based off of the ideas of some of these songs, the concepts, the way that he like the beat is going and everything, it's a 7. I could be generous and give this shit a 7.5. But if I'm really looking at the execution altogether, if I'm taking into account all the songs that are just skips, all of the songs that just don't work, and then I'm just taking away, and I'm not really just giving him the benefit of looking at the highs on some of these short ass songs, then this is honestly a 5 or a 6. This is one of the worst Future albums I've heard in a while. And again, it's not because the talent isn't there. It's because it felt like the nigga did not try. This was underbaked. You got to let this cook. You got to let some of these songs cook in the oven a little longer. Add a little something to them. Add some transitions. This is like an inverse of like the Drake album, if I'm being completely honest. Because at first I thought that this was the same issue of just focusing on the streaming and the numbers, but whereas Drake's album, or just Iceman for real, was able to be technically great, where the real problem was focusing on what Drake was saying and everything, the songs themselves are solid. With Future, it's like the songs themselves are not. And it's like, bro, I want to hear some of the verses. Why is Sky Top of Miami on so short? Why is Tank Top Pluto so short? Just it's a lot of songs on here that would be so much better, and I'd want to play so much more if they had something else to them. They weren't just like literal fast food music. And that's the problem, man. Future is so much more talented than that. It is not a case of Drake where this is somebody who's just skirting by, who is literally who should be more focused on just the numbers instead of actually trying to create quality. Future has the ability to realistically do both. This man has given us great albums where he's given us heat, and it's been just nice and concise, and he's still been able to do numbers and get streams. I don't understand this obsession with a lot of these mainstream guys right now and feeling like they have to follow this trend. It's getting annoying, you know? And it's really, really frustrating because there's so many good albums. I'm doing my mid-year list on some of the best albums of the year, and everybody that's on it right now is people that are making real quality shit, that aren't trying to focus on getting at least a 20-track project out that's like an hour long. They're focused on getting 15, 16, if it's 20, so damn be it, but every song matters. Every song counts. It's not going to be a case of I'm going to just drop a couple of 2 minutes and 30 second songs and to just like drop 20 of them and call it a fucking day, like a lot of these niggas want to do right now. And maybe we're just at a point now where quality just isn't really going to matter, where it's really just going to be focusing on getting numbers, on just trying to get streams and everything. But at that point, that's part of the problem, man. because we have to not lose track, and you have to not lose track of the fact that at the end of the day, music is supposed to be something that people are able to vibe to and have a good time with. This is not this late stage capitalism thing invading everything, even to the point now where even the arts are being corrupted, are being damaged, is some dystopian shit, y'all. But this is getting a little bit too deep for a Simple Future reaction video to this album. So I will just say, at the end of the day, y'all, this album is a 6. It is a 6. This is not something that I would recommend for you to listen to, because at the end of the day, even the highs on this album, the more I've listened to some of the songs that I like, the ones I have saved, there isn't anything that I'm hearing on those songs. Like 2018 is literally a song that if I want to go hear that vibe from Future, I can go to that year. I can go back to Future in that time frame. I can go back and hear the King's Trees Dead, or whatever the song was called. I can go back to 2015 to hear some of the Future where he was trying to incorporate some of these vibes, or before that. I don't need to listen to this album. Like, that's why calling it The Real Me is so ironic and weird, because nigga, this is the real you from years ago. There isn't anything new. Even the fucking cover just feels like a ripoff of that Weekend cover. I can't really think of it right now. I'm gonna find it as I edit this video, and I'm gonna post it up there. But this really feels like this was an album where this man did not try. This was a label obligation where he just needed to get this out and get something released. So no, don't listen to this. Don't waste your time. The next time you want to listen to some Future, listen to his old shit. You don't really need to be worried about his new shit. But this has been Kinetic Aesthetic, y'all. I hope you have had a wonderful Monday. We'll be back again tomorrow with Sports Talk. And after that, we'll be back again on Wednesday, because I have to review something better than this to cleanse my palate. But like I said before, it's been your boy Germ. It's Kinetic Aesthetic. And I'm out of here.